how to identify your most valuable customers. This might not, this was an email that I actually got today from American Express Open. We all know who American Express is. They have a division that they created, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago called Open, O-P-E-N, and it is specifically targeted to small businesses. It is, I'm actually a member of their network, but more importantly, I guess it's 5 years ago now, I started watching on Sunday mornings at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a business that American Express Open was producing called Your Business. And if you follow me religiously, you know that I still watch that show at 7:30, and that's why on Sunday mornings I actually come online at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The reason being is so I can listen to see what's going on. Now that I am going to have the dish and not cable, I don't know what channel it's going to be, but we'll find it before Sunday morning. At any rate, they come out because I'm a member of their network. They send me an email, and it's really a really good email. And all they really do in this email is they collect blogs and stories and put them together under one roof, if you will. So, how to identify your most valuable customers was a blog that I got today. The author of it is Barry Moltz, M-O-L-T-Z, and the dateline is September 4th. This past month, Barry says in his opening paragraph, there was a shocking news item from two well-known billion-dollar corporations. Both Home Depot and Lowe's reported, and we know that Home Depot competes with Lowe's, that if they gave customers better service, they could increase their profits. This has been supported by studies which show a majority of consumers will spend more money at companies that give great service. I just shared with you an experience that I had with the cable company. After 10 years, for whatever the reason, decided not to give me good customer service, and they lost the customer. No big sweat off their back, I would guess. But anyways, there are Jay creates 7 factors to identify who the best customers are. And we're going to talk about this actually later in our customer touchpoint module once again. We'll talk about these. But the reason I wanted to share the information today with you is that if you are thinking, not if you are thinking, you should be thinking about being able to identify your potential best customers as your most valuable customers as you start your business. If that is part of your strategy and part of your thinking as you start a business, it's going to be easier for you to develop that relationship with your customer that you need, because your customer is your lifeblood. Okay. Think about these things as you're developing a strategy for starting a business. Number 1, how do you create the value of this customer? And we want to have the most value. And point number 1 is a mistake that many entrepreneurs make as they start a business or even try to grow their existing business. Sales minus cost. Most companies rank customers' importance by the amount of sales they do with their company. Unfortunately, Barry tells us, this leaves out a key component of the equation. While a customer can do a lot of business with a company, the cost of doing those sales has to be added into the overall equation. You have heard me say this before in my way. I say that the cash flow that is created by your customers must be profitable cash flow, not just cash flow. And please, as you start your business, don't make this mistake that all too many entrepreneurs make. It's not just about the sales that these folks do. It's what does it cost to get that sale? What does it cost to service and maintain that customer? If customers generate, if there are two customers and one generates, let's say they both generate $1,000 in sales. Customer A takes a lot of time to maintain them, to keep them happy. They take 20 hours a month of your time, of your company's time, to keep them happy, keep them satisfied. Company B, who spends the same $1,000, only takes 5 hours of your time. Which one of those two do you want to continue a business relationship with? Well, for sure, the one who spends $1,000 and only takes 5 hours of time to satisfy their needs, their wants, bring value to their lives, where the other one takes, the example I just used, 4 times as much. We want to do business with the customers that not only do we deliver the greatest value to them, that's why they choose to do business with us, they return the value to us because they generate profitable cash flow. Please don't make that mistake. Too many people do. I tried not to make that mistake actually over the years, and it has worked very well for me. Number 2, revenue timing. Not all revenue is created equal, Barry Maltz tells us. If the business sells customer electronics, it probably already makes a lot of revenue in the 4th quarter when everyone is shopping for the holidays, but could use more in the 1st quarter. Sales that come in off-peak season may be more profitable because they fill unused production capacity or may be done at a slightly higher price. As you are starting your business and you're strategizing about who your customers, who your prospects are, and who your customers will be, think about what time of the year will they be generating revenue. Maybe you're going to have a business where revenue is generated at all times of the year. As David's barter community, the members of our community and the landing pages that are created for people to start a business are going to happen all year long. They might happen a little bit less in December, in the 4th quarter, when people are spending a lot of money thinking about gifts and what have you. We don't know that yet. We'll know that soon enough. But theoretically, our business model does not have a timing to it. As a matter of fact, we will share with you that when many times when people think are bad times to do a business are actually great times to do business. And I saw this big time. I saw this in the 90s when I was doing a lot of. I was working with a lot of. Well, you heard me say I was working with insurance companies, and every single one of the insurance companies I worked with did television. Every single one of the insurance companies I worked with did direct mail. And the traditional thinking was that in the months of July, you couldn't run an ad on television that people would see because they'd be outside. They wouldn't be inside watching television. Two of my clients, actually they were competitors of one another, they both did tremendous volumes in the month of July because what business was to be had in that month, they were getting it. Where other competitors of theirs were saying, "Oh, you can't do business in July because people aren't watching television." They proved that wrong. So think about that seasonality, and if seasonality is an important part of your business concept, of the business that you want to start, think how that's going to affect cash flow year-round. Another point, an existing small business certainly can have a landing page in our community, and when would be the best time for them to really focus on that landing page? When, if they had a seasonal business was slow at a certain time of the year. That would be a great time to think about the online aspects of your business. I don't care if you're a box retailer, a barber shop, a beauty salon, a restaurant, regardless of the fact that you have a location where people walk through a front door, you still have to have communication with those folks somehow in the online world and be able to offer them something of value. All too often people forget that. And yes, everybody's saying you have to have a website. Well, yeah, you don't have to have a website. You can have a web community. You can have a landing page. You don't need a big, expensive bells and whistle type website. Just a very significant landing page demonstrating the highest principles of social marketing, social network technology. Referrals and buzz. In the age of the internet, consumers believe more in earned media like peer reviews, posts and tweets than in corporate advertising. This, my friends, is a new phenomenon. It did not exist when I was starting businesses in the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s. Social media, if you will. Well, Facebook is only 8 years old. And look what they have done in 8 years, and look at the impact that they have made on almost 1 billion people's lives around the world. When people have a complaint about your business, they go to social media and they share that complaint with thousands of people. Is that a bad thing? Well, potentially it is a bad thing. So we have a new world. We have a new world. To that point, Twitter has had the most unbelievable impact on how we learn news. We see something happening and we tweet it. It doesn't go to a radio station, a television station first, a newspaper, a magazine. We tweet it. So we're learning about things literally as they are happening, and not if we read a newspaper on something that might have happened 8 hours ago, 24 hours ago, whatever the case might be. So it's a new world that we live in, and referrals and buzz are very, very important, and we can see those and feel those and realize those in our community and the social network technology that we have made available. Retention. How do you keep a customer? I'm gonna move through these pretty quickly, and then we're going to get on with something that the SBA just announced yesterday, and it's something I talk about. It's like I'm talking about them every day. They made an announcement yesterday about a new web tool that they have, and I want to share that with you because it's extremely important, not only to existing businesses, but it's a tool that can be used for businesses that are just starting. The cost of retaining a customer. Measure that cost. Understand how you measure that cost. Add-on products or services. All too often we forget about if somebody is doing business with us now, and they might be here. Why can't they be here or here or here in our business and selling them additional stuff? We don't think about that. We are thinking all too often is very silo, very single focused, and not the broad picture. You know what? The best thing to do is ask your customers what additional things would they like to see from you. Simple. Communication. The customer's brand. This is especially valuable to small customers. If they do business with a well-known brand, they can build their reputation based on it. If Oprah Winfrey buys a company's product and talks about it, orders come through the roof. The brand. Let me share another thought with you about brand. As we were developing David's Barter Community, I decided to focus on establishing the brand before we really talked about the product and service that we were making available for folks to start a business. The brand being David's Barter, all one word. The brand being SmallBizDavid in quotation marks. Only if you go to Google and now Bing, if you go to either one of them and Bing it or Google search it, David's Barter, SmallBizDavid in quotation marks for some crazy reason we totally haven't figured out yet. It's incredible what we've been able to do in terms of search results. So I'm not promoting, I haven't marketed until what it is that we actually do and have to offer, but I wanted to create the brand, create SmallBizDavid as, what did USA Today call me? America's premier expert, emerging business leader. I shared that with you last week. If you didn't see it, I'll show it to you again. But it's about my brand. It falls into the branding. Emerging business leaders, the back page of the sports section of the February 1st USA Today, emerging business leaders, there it is, SmallBizDavid in quotation marks. I didn't say my name, David Leopold. I said SmallBizDavid because that's the brand that I wanted to promote, and it started in February. A brilliant decision, I think. Okay, and finally, feedback. Although social media makes it easier to get feedback, most customers never tell a company what they think about its product. Typically, only the top 10% very satisfied and the bottom 10% very dissatisfied share their thoughts about a company's service. You know what? You want to find out what a company thinks about you? Ask them. Ask them and listen to what they are saying, because your customers are your lifeblood. They are the ones that will determine your success. So if the top 10 your customers keep on spending money, the bottom 10 are not satisfied, tell you, find out what the middle 80% are thinking by asking them, and be open about it, and be willing to listen to criticism that you might hear, because in that engagement of that customer, ultimately they're going to stay with you, create more value to your company, and that's what we need to really focus on. So, as Jay Abraham tells us, don't forget about it, but more emphasis needs to be on your customer and the needs and the wants of your customer, rather than the product or service that you sell.